How's you going, boys? Mike here. Welcome back to Grampie's workshop. Wow, some nice that you come back in for another visit. Listen, today I changed my winter tires. I put my summer tires on there last week, and my winter tires are on steel rims. I'm just going to show you here. You can see that. I don't know how good you can see it, but they're pretty rusty. So what I want to do is I want to paint them before I store them for the summer. So what the project today is, I have to prepare those wheels here for some paint. Alright, so in preparation for painting my wheels, which are pretty rusty considering, I tried a lot of different things. I tried sandpaper, well, tried a wire wheel. It's hard to get a wire wheel down in there just quite everywhere as I want it to be. But what I have is a pneumatic hammer, chisel, you know, one of those vibrating chisel guns. And what I'd like to try is a needle scaler. I'm not sure if you know what a needle scaler is, but it's a device you put on a pneumatic tool and a bunch of steel needles in it, and they just vibrate back and forth, and they hammer. They're good for chipping paint. I looked, of course, at Princess Auto, and they were pretty pricey, like, you know, getting upwards to $100. So I found this rig right here. Wait till I show you. It's a needle scaler attachment from Princess Auto, Power Fist. It was a pretty good price. I think 20 bucks. It was on special for 20 bucks. There's a picture of it right there. But rather than look at a picture, let's open it up. Of course, it comes with instructions. So there's the scaler. It's just a series of steel rods here on the end. And on this end of it, the pneumatic, on this end, the pneumatic hammer's on here, and it makes those needles dance around. So this just threads onto the air gun. Here's my air gun. This, by the way, this one is a Campbell Housefield, just in case you're wondering, but I think they're all about standard here, the ends. So this spring just unscrews off the air hammer, and what you're left with is your gun with a fairly coarse thread on here. And in this scaler attachment, there's threads on the inside, so that just goes in here. And then there's some set screws, 3 of them around it, that you just snug them up. You don't make them right tight because it'll damage the thread, but you just put them in there tight to hold it in place. And then you take your pneumatics, connect it on. I've got my compressor set at, I think, 90 psi. It's noisy. Okay, let's try it. So here's the wheel, pretty rusty. It just looks like surface rust, doesn't look like anything penetrated, so I'm going to try this gun and see how it works. So it's going to get loud. Well, I'll tell you, it was noisy. Let's have a look, see how we made out. What do you think? Doesn't look too bad. So that scaler works pretty good. It chips, you know, like the paint, where the paint comes off easy, it chips it off easy, but then it'll chip it into like the edges where it's still adhered pretty good to the steel. So I think that's going to work good for repainting. My only concern with this is it takes a lot of air, and my compressor is on a lot. The duty cycle on it, I'm not sure what it is, but anyways, uses a lot of air, this chipper or scaler. So that's the front of the tire. So this is the back. So it needs some work too. If you can see in there, there's lots of rusting around here, around the edges. So we'll buzz this one off too. Okay, so we finished the inside now, so it looks a lot better. I think it's going to be good once we get some paint on it. So all in all, to do that whole tire with that needle scaler probably took 20 minutes maybe, both sides, to do both sides. Now what I have to do is put some masking tape around the edge of the rim and hit it with some spray paint. Okay, so what I have here is just some scraps of paper that I had, and I just held them on the wheel. I just ran my finger around the edge of the wheel just to get a sort of an indication of where the rim would be. So now I'm going to cut that. So I'm just cutting this now. I'm not sure if it'll work, but it'll be close anyways, I hope. So this is what I'm going to use to paint them. Trim Clad Rust paint. It's a gloss black. I used to paint them just with a brush in gloss black trim clad, but I thought I'd try the spray this time just to see if I get a better job. So we'll see how it goes. And I'm going to try just lots of thin coats, right? Okay, that'll be one coat. We'll let that set up and then we'll probably hit it with another one. So it's been about 20 minutes or so since the first coat, so I'm just going to throw another one on just right quick. Hopefully. So we'll let that dry up now, then do the front. Okay, we got 2 coats on the back side, so I'm going to try some on the front now. You have to have patience to spray paint. I was wanting to put thin coats on, but that's not a thin coat. Anyways, we'll see how that turns out. Okay, we're here now to give our second coat on the front side. Okay, there's the finished product with 2 coats of paint on it. And you can see, you know, like, it's not right smooth. I thought that was going to all settle out and I don't know what the word is that you use when in the painting world, but you know, like where the paint would sort of just go all over it and find its own surface, and it wouldn't be so rough. It would be nice and glossy. So anyway, I don't really like that, but it's good to get the tires painted. And that needle scaler, that's a boss, man. If you get a chance to get one of those, jump on it, because they're great for hitting the rust and taking off rust spots. Alright, so we took the needle scaler and cleaned off my wheels, and then I painted them. I'm going to have to say though, I'm not a big fan of the spray paint. I think next year I'm going to do them with the brush again. The spray paint, I don't know, it's not covering just quite the way I thought it would. And it doesn't turn out that good, as you saw. You can see a lot of still the rusty surface of the wheel, where I think with the paintbrush that would I don't know, flow smoother or something. I don't know, maybe we'll see next year what happens. But in the meantime, hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you got a little idea there maybe how you can treat your wheels if you have wheels for, you know, different seasons. Thanks for watching, appreciate it. Can't believe it, I'm closing in on 700 subscribers. It's just amazing. Thank you, each and every one of you who watch and subscribe and support my channel. I sure appreciate it. And in the meantime, this is what happened to me today. We'll talk to you.